How's it going, Bobas? My name is Nancy Boba, and today we're going to react to History of Jacknjelify.
Jacknjelify. What more can be said about them that hasn't already been talked about? This channel basically created Battlefield Dream Island, which took the internet by storm, and because of it, they inspired several different channels to make their own object shows, some being more well-known than others. Despite most of their history revolving around their famous web series, I'm sure you know there's more to the channel than that by now. So without further ado, this is the history of Jacknjelify.
Let's go! Early years.
Jacknjelify was created by Michael and Carrie Hong on February 5th, 2008. According to a 2016 video simply called 2005, Michael and Carrie would create stop-motion animations using a camera that was used to film their birth, with all of these animations being made between the years 2005 and 2006, proving that they have been making animations even before the channel's existence. These stop-motion videos were published onto a channel ran by them called Zackbone Productions. Also on Zackbone Productions is a series called Sim, where they would go through the old catalog of 259 games they made between the years 2005 and 2009. There have been 173 episodes of Sim and has been in dormancy since 2017, along with the channel in general. Back to the subject of the video, Jacknjelify. As I previously said, Jacknjelify was created in 2008, with their first video being uploaded 2 days after the channel's creation, titled simply The Baby Squisher, which was basically just a contraption made to, well, squish baby. The very next video, I Can Make a Difference, which was a video about recycling, I believe, was the very first animation that was uploaded to the channel. We have the fiery comics that were created by Carrie Hong that goes as far as back as May 13 of the same year. These comics are the earliest known content that relates to the BFDIA. In it, there stars 5 characters: Fiery, Woody, Teardrop, Match, and Spongy. The characters are generally the same as their show counterparts, but there are a few alternations with the comics and the show characters, such as Match not being as much as a mean girl stereotype as she is now, but it's still generally the same thing. Another thing that came out is Total Fiery Island, or TFI for short, which was necessarily a brief secret for BFDI. Being inspired by the 2007 Canadian cartoon Total Drama Island, it was also created by Carrie and ran between September 30th, 2008 and exactly 1 year later in September 30th, 2009. Only 9 were found, and for the longest time the rest were lost. That is, until June 11th of last year, where Carrie found the rest of them in an old shoebox at their house, ending the 7-year search for them. The final thing I need to mention is X finds out his value on New Year's 2008. According to the description, it was a school project when the brothers were in Year 7 for their pre-algebra class, but despite its purpose to exist, it's also marked as the first time we see 4, X, and other algebra aliens, with most of them reappearing in later shows of the channel. That's all for the beginning, as the channel is generally a dump for the brothers. For 2 years in 2009, they would start to work on a show that would strike gold, but you already know what it is at this point, so I'll let them explain it to you. You roll it.
On January 1st, 2010, BFDI 1A and 1B were released. Despite being released at the start of 2010, there was a video on the Humidity channel where there was a BFDI animation that was released almost a year back. Regardless, the show eventually threw the incredibly small channel into the spotlight. By the end of the first season, approximately 7,000 votes were cast overall, and as of April 2022, it amassed over 349,500,000 overall views. In 2011, the Carrie KH and Finosal channels were created to serve as personal channels for Carrie and Michael respectively. As of today, the Finosal channel has been inactive for over a year, whilst the Carrie KH channel is still around. On June 29th, 2012, nearly 6 months at the end of the 3rd season, the 2nd season, BFDIA, came along with Yeah Who I Wanna Know. There's not much to talk about BFDIA other than it got a mildly infamous reputation over time. BFDIA ran for 5 episodes before it got unexpectedly cancelled due to reasons we'll get to later, with its last episode being released on August 1st, 2013. Although a certain game did come out in February of that same year to serve as an episode, for the rest of 2013, they released 2 videos and a live stream, all of which being in August. The subscriber special on the 15th, an announcement of their merch shop on the 26th, and a live stream on the next day. And now we've made it. You knew it was going to happen. On January 2nd, 2014, Jacknjelify uploaded their very last video before they went radio silent, titled Thanks for 4 Years. Jacknjelify won't be touched for nearly 3 years after the video was uploaded due to, again, reasons I'll get to. But what went on during the years 2014 and 2015? Well, I won't tell you that. Take it away, Yuri.
Hiatus.
Well, on June 21st, 2014, the Abacaba channel was created that was ran by Carrie, although it wouldn't upload its first video until March 15th, 2015. The Carrie and Fernozzle channel were still active at the time. The Cube World channel, also ran by Carrie, was created in 2015, and it is active with its last upload being released on the 11th of February, 2022. The Jacknjelify Twitter account was active throughout 2014 and 2015. On December 13th, 2015, Carrie KH announced 10 words of wisdom. Do you remember early in the video about Zackbone Productions? Well, they started uploading on December 21st, 2015, over a week before the hiatus for the main channel finally concluded.
Even though they came back on YouTube, they wouldn't explain the hiatus until months later on March 3rd. When they explained that on March 6th, 2014, 2 months after their last video, their AdSense account had been disabled, and as such, BFDIA was cancelled due to, well, actual budget cuts. What hurts most of all is that it's between these 2 dates, they gained over 115 million views, and because their AdSense account had been disabled, they didn't even earn a penny of what could have been tens of thousands. But in June of 2016, 3 months after the video was made, they finally got back their AdSense account, and the very next month, they released a teaser stating that BFDI is back. And 2 months later, on September 1st, the first episode of IDFB, third season, titled Welcome Back, came out, ending the 3-year hiatus of BFDI. There was going to be a second episode released on October 1st, but it got pushed to December and then postponed indefinitely. As of February 2022, there's not been a single update of IDFB. On August, they were nominated for the Battle of the Fantasy Foods Award. This was their first time they were nominated, not only that, with over 90% of the votes against Cola, the second highest performing, they won their first award, although it wouldn't be their last. On November 3rd, 2017, the fourth season
iconic
of BFDI
one.
called Battle for BFDI, originally intended for Sloppy BFDI, came out, and in 2018, they celebrated their 10-year anniversary. A year and a half later, in August of 2019, the very first plush, the Fiery plush, was released, alongside the now discontinued folders. On October 14th of that same year, the channel became an affiliate of the Channel Predator Network, which was run by Predator Studios, a company that created such shows such as The Fairly Odd Parents and Adventure Time. Now we move on to another big part in Jacknjelify's history, the split. From what I can gather, the reason why BFDI was split to 2 shows, BFB and Teapot to be exact, was because the split wasn't going to happen. BFB will run way too long, and by the time the winner was announced, everyone will be in their 40s or 50s, and they would have to continue to go that style until then, rather than making a short and sweet season where something better afterwards. Regardless, people were not the happiest with it. In fact, there was so much backlash it basically turned into a controversy, which you can find in Jacknjelify's controversy section of Wikitubia. Why did they gain such controversy, you may ask? Because not only that 2 just split the show, but also the fact that winner has an extremely high chance of joining, knowing their popularity, and that Spongy loser just join out of the blue. But what do I think of it? Well, that's a story for another time. But regardless, in recent times, especially with the release of Teapot, which got very positive feedback, the backlash has significantly died out, and the controversy is nearly non-existent. One final thing left to talk about is that on August 27th, 2021, the Carson Crave
I actually
Awards
stopped watching it when the split happened until I went back to it.
Lego Friends, and he's his biggest competitor, Hell of a Boss. It was announced by Jacknjelify almost 2 weeks later. Despite the latter's popularity, on January 23rd of this year, BFDI was confirmed to be the winner, garnering 63% of the votes. And this is the end of Jacknjelify's 14-year-long history, for now at least.
When was this? 3 days ago. Now that was pretty cool.